Sidekick Comics Geek-Tastic Vodcast. I'm your host, Dave. This is Isaac, Bryce, and Monica. We're going to switch things up this week. We brought a couple of other people in for a discussion. We felt that, we needed to liven the vodcast up a little bit and get some more discussion on things. What we're going to talk about centers around the Archie Comics book, Kevin Keller #3, and we're going to use that as a springboard into the general topic. Kevin Keller, as you know, is the Archie Comics character that is openly gay. With all the attention recently being given to DC Comics and Marvel Comics and the gay marriage and the gay Alan Scott Green Lantern character, I believe a lot of media and a lot of readers have forgotten that Archie Comics was doing this months ago. They were kind of ahead of the curve on this in the recent developments. And while there's a lot of people that believe DC and Marvel have been doing the recent gay characters as diversity for diversity's sake, Archie Comics character of Kevin Keller doesn't quite have that feel.
No, it doesn't. He's an integral part of the story. It's not just this is what's popular right now and this is what's in the news. And I think that one thing Archie's doing better than DC and Marvel is they're addressing issues that surround this character. Homophobia, bigotry, okay, you came out, but now what? Because coming out's not just a one-step process. Going on that first date, who's he gonna take to prom? And there's all these other things that I think bring more true to your average reader. And my fear is that DC and Marvel is going to use it as a one-shot pony. Just here it is, and now we'll go on. And I hope that they kind of look at Archie and see what they've done with Kevin Keller, because not just in the Kevin Keller book is Kevin Keller gay, but in Life with Archie, on both threads, you're still seeing how that character, in those he's married to his boyfriend, and seeing how people are in the community respond to them. And what I fear is that with DC and Marvel, they won't develop those characters as fully.
Maybe. I think DC and Marvel, it's obviously very early in the process to judge what they've done with it. At this time, I think we can still give them some benefit of the doubt. I think what part of the problem is with DC and Marvel, when they do something like this, the press obviously grabs a hold of it. They get a lot of attention, and people feel that it is just a publicity stunt, and it could be. They are, divisions of Warner Brothers and Disney, so that, it could be just a marketing, just a diversity for diversity's sake. But I also believe that if they do, as long as they're true to the character and they don't stereotype with how they approach it, I think it can be good, though, to also have a gay superhero that doesn't necessarily encounter day-to-day problems, but provides maybe kind of a role model type thing, particularly maybe for gay teens.
Yeah, because like she said, DC just recently came out with it with Earth 2, and even though Earth 2 is just just a summer thing, I hope that maybe in other DC comic books, maybe...
No, Earth 2 is an ongoing.
It is? It's okay, so, so hopefully they'll keep it the same. And like you said, maybe they'll add some day-to-day stuff and just maybe make it easier for people to understand. I think most people just think to themselves, okay, they have a gay superhero. That's not even... That doesn't make sense to me. But it should make sense to you because, it's just... It does make sense. If you read the books, it's actually a really good read, and it's just really, it does make sense. I'm just kind of stuttering, but it does make sense.
Well, the one thing, Archie Comics sometimes gets a bad reputation with your die-hard fanboys because they view it merely as kid books and fluff. But honestly, if you read Archie, and I have read Archie since I was 5 years old. That was part of the way I cut my teeth in comics. It does have very relatable material. I know it's sometimes hard to laugh and say, oh, but they go to the beach and they hang out, and then they go and get a milkshake at Pop's shop, but that's what kids do. Kids go to these things. Kids, they go and hang out at, and get milkshakes, and if you can ignore some of the specifics, well, it may not be go to the beach and go to Pop's shop for a milkshake. It could be go to a football game and then go to Steak and Shake afterwards. It's still the same scenario, and kids still encounter those same things, whether it be the bigotry in Kevin Keller, that was prominent in issue 3, whether it be determining who to go out with on a Friday night or who to take to prom, whether it be how to raise money to buy, a new video game you want. It's still relatable material for teenagers. And I think with Kevin Keller bringing in relatable material for gay teenagers, it helps them to think, okay, I can do this. I can be confident in who I am, and I can get by this. I can challenge the hatred, and I can come out a better person.
Yeah. I think even though, like you said, that it's the same situation, like friends hanging out and then going to get a drink afterwards, like you said, the beach, then going to get a milkshake, or going to a football game and Steak and Shake afterwards. I think he gives a lot of scenarios that teens today do a lot of the time, like almost on a day-to-day basis. So the gay teenagers in today's culture can realize that it isn't as hard as they think it is, because people are making fun of them for being gay or anything like that, they know they can still have friends and still hang out with people and not be judged for their sexuality.
Okay, now we're being joined by Logan, and we're going to discuss some recent news, and we are going to discuss the recent announcement of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle franchise reboot that was scheduled to be directed by Michael Bay has been technically postponed till next year, but the industry talk is that it's been indefinitely postponed, and the talk is that it is because of Michael Bay saying that he was reimagining these characters as aliens, and going in this different direction. And I can sum up my thoughts in one word by saying hallelujah. I do not now need to stage my protest of this movie. I'm not what you would call a huge Michael Bay fan. I think he is somewhat over the top on certain things, but I think his opinion of reimagining these characters as aliens as opposed to the age-old mutant turtles
Or you would have to rename it.
was
Teenage Mutant or Teenage
Alien Ninja Turtle.
I think it was ignorant. I think you have a franchise that has a very strong fan base that has stuck with this thing through almost 30 years in every imaginable form, and to think that you could restructure that much, that he knew better on how to imagine somebody else's characters and change it that much and not be a slap in the face of the fan base, I think is ridiculous.
Absolutely, and I think it's a common problem right now in the industry. There's no imagination out there. That is why when you have something like The Walking Dead that comes around, people jump on something that's new and it's innovative, because right now there is so much reboot and reimagining going on, and all that's saying is I'm taking your idea and I'm just going to change it a little bit and see if I can profit off of it. And I, quite honestly, I'm glad that the fans spoke out, and I do believe that this had a lot to do with the internet talk. I think that it shows that the industry does listen. They do monitor message boards, because I don't think I saw a single positive thing about this when it was announced.
When I first heard that they were going to reboot the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle franchise, I thought they should have went the other direction. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle began as a comic in the early 80s by Mirage Studios, and it was not exactly the same Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that was in the cartoon and the feature films, which became very outlandish and horribly campy. I was hoping that instead of sticking to the more animated cartoon form, that maybe they would go back to the grittier comic book form. with which I thought might have even been up Michael Bay's alley because it was more action oriented and less with the catchphrases and the pizza and skateboards.
Yeah, like literally when I heard that Michael Bay was gonna say that they were aliens, I literally thought it was a joke. I literally thought someone was telling me a joke.
I was waiting for the announcement
Yeah.
that Ben Affleck was going to be Splinter.
Yeah. It was literally. I was kind of angry because I mean I like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I definitely like the comic, but I definitely like the comic books, and I definitely like the cartoons. The cartoons are really funny, and I like the live action movies because they're really goofy and funny too. But
Isaac even likes the Vanilla Ice Turtle rap song from
oh yeah, but like I was really excited for this because like with all the technology we have today, I was like these turtles are gonna look so awesome. Like I'm gonna see a really cool looking Leo and Leonardo but no, they were gonna be aliens, and that just ruined it to me. I was pretty much gonna veto the whole movie. I was gonna camp outside the movie theater, not let anybody in, just chain myself to the doors.
But this is kind of a string of things. I think it's kind of going with Paramount. I believe it was Paramount that they came out with Battleship and it effectively bombed.
Yeah.
They had to push back.
Sank their own battleship.
They had to push back the GI Joe release date. It seems they're making a lot of miscalculations with things. I think they were wise to not go forward with this because I think this would have been the biggest failure of all for them if they had done this with the Turtles.
I think that I agree. The new movie would have been a bit ridiculous with the aliens and how recently Michael Bay, a lot of his movies have been different from the comics.
Well, we brought up Walking Dead a while ago, and it made me think we have something really exciting planned for the Walking Dead 100th issue.
Yeah, the 100th issue of Walking Dead comes out July 11th, and obviously in comics, number 100 is a milestone. If you reach it to 100 issues, I think you're pretty established. I don't think there's. I think there's no doubt that Walking Dead will probably go several more hundred at the rate it's going. But there's a lot of anticipation to build up for this 100th issue.
There's supposed to be a huge plot.
Yeah, there's supposed to be some
Development.
huge event. They've been very hush-hush about it. But to mark the occasion, we here at Sidekick Comics are going to have a midnight release at midnight on July 11th. We're going to open for an hour, and fans will be able to come in and be the first ones to get this issue 100. We will have several copies. We will have some of the Chrome Edition copies. We will have some posters. And we'll have some giveaways and door prizes.
We would also like to remind you that this Friday and Saturday, the owners of the shop
My mom and dad.
are going to Charlotte, North Carolina, and HeroCon, and the shop will be closed these days. Hello there, young man. Did you know a trade paperback is a collection of several previously issued comic books?
Gee willikers, Mr. Chief. Thank you.
And that there is your tip of the week.
This is Zan the Man. We'll see you next week.